So here's something wild. Did you know Daito-ryu Aiki-jujutsu can be traced all the way back to Japan's samurai era? Like we're talking the 11th century and it's still being practiced today.
That's impressive, isn't it? Its roots go back to Minamoto Yoshimitsu, a legendary figure. He's often credited as the originator. The story goes he observed anatomical structures by studying.
Human anatomy through battlefield casualties, right? I read that somewhere. It's kind of dark, but also fascinating. It explains why the techniques are like laser focused on precision and control.
Exactly. And what's remarkable is how Yoshimitsu's methods were passed down through the Takeda clan for centuries. These teachings stayed relatively private until Takeda Sokaku revived and formalized Daito-ryu in the late 19th century. His efforts transformed it from a family tradition into a structured martial art.
Yeah, Sokaku seems like such a game changer. I mean, he was teaching this at a time when what martial traditions were kind of starting to fade because of modernization.
Precisely, it was during the Meiji era when Japan was rapidly industrializing and samurai arts were seen as, well, outdated. Sokaku not only preserved Daito-ryu, but also made it relevant to a new age by teaching military officers, police, and eventually even civilians. He was relentless in his travels, spreading the art throughout Japan, often in remote towns. And
Okay, but what really caught my attention is how rigorous the training progression is, even today. Like, you can't just show up and learn flashy moves. There's this whole hierarchy, Haiden Mokoroku, right? That's the beginner syllabus.
right, it's almost a blueprint for foundational techniques: throws, locks, strikes, pins. But then you work your way up. Each stage, from Mokoroku to Menkyo Kaiden, reflects a lifetime of learning. It's not just about acquiring skills, it's about embodying the philosophy behind the art.
So it's very Japanese in the sense that it's tied to discipline and respect and, building more than just technical skill. You're building character.
Absolutely. And its samurai origins shine through in that. Daito-ryu isn't merely physical, it's a practice steeped in mindfulness, control, and strategy. Takeda Sokaku and his successors ensured it retained that essence even as it adapted through time.
And speaking of successors, wasn't his son Takemune crucial in continuing that lineage?
Yes, Tokumune Takeda played a major role in systematizing what his father had revived. He also introduced public demonstrations and made a significant effort to document the techniques extensively, ensuring the art's preservation and accessibility.
It's kind of mind blowing that all of this, the roots, the evolution, the preservation led to what Daito Ryu is today, a living tradition still relevant in martial arts. Right. And with all that history, what really fascinates me is this concept of Aiki. It feels like the nucleus of Daito Ryu, harmony with your opponent, or is there an even deeper meaning to it?
Exactly. At its core, Aiki is about blending with an opponent's energy rather than opposing it. The practitioner doesn't meet force with force, but redirects it efficiently and gracefully. It's such an elegant concept.
I mean, that's powerful. It's not just about combat, though, is it? Like, you could apply it to navigating personal conflict or even global diplomacy.
Absolutely, the philosophy transcends martial arts. Think about how conflicts escalate when people or nations push against each other. Aiki teaches us that sometimes the best strategy is to absorb and redirect rather than resist. It's almost counterintuitive in its wisdom, yet incredibly effective.
That's such a shift from the whole fight or flight mentality most of us are hardwired with. So it's not about overpowering, it's about control, right? I know that ties into Kuzushi, the idea of unbalancing your opponent.
Right. Kuzushi is a fundamental principle in Daito-ryu. It's how you destabilize the opponent, not just physically, but mentally as well. By disrupting their balance and timing, you create an opening to execute techniques.
Sort of like chess, but with bodies. And what about Mei? That's about distance and timing, right?
Exactly. Mai refers to the ideal spatial and temporal relationship between you and your opponent. Mastering it means you can either control the engagement or disengage completely. It's an art in itself.
And when you think about it, those moments, that perfect timing, are everywhere in life. Ever made a snap decision at just the right time? Or waited a little too long and missed the chance entirely?
That's the philosophical beauty of my eye. It's a lesson in awareness, teaching us to read situations and act decisively. Honestly, it's as relevant in boardrooms as it is on the mat.
Oh, totally. And I think that's what's so compelling about Daito-ryu. It's not just a bunch of old techniques. It's teaching people how to move through life with precision and purpose.
Exactly. And when you merge Aiki, Mai, and Kuzushi, you're not just moving through life, you're navigating it with a profound sense of balance and intention. These principles become a framework for understanding and adapting to complex situations.
And they even echo back to the roots of Daito-ryu. Like, these ideas weren't developed in some vacuum. They were born out of centuries of survival and adaptation. That's what makes them timeless.
Exactly. Adaptation is the heart of it all. For example, the way these principles evolved through different branches of Daito-ryu, especially under figures like Tokumune Takeda and others, is fascinating.
Thinking about what you said, it's incredible how these principles, born out of centuries of adaptation, have not only endured but also evolved into a global martial art. It's amazing to see something rooted in ancient samurai traditions thriving in the modern era.
It really is remarkable. It's a testament to both the adaptability of Daito-ryu and the efforts of its practitioners, especially the key branches that emerged over time. Figures like Tokumune Takeda and students such as Hisa and Horikawa played pivotal roles in shaping its trajectory.
Yeah, and those branches gave it diversity, right? Like, some leaned more into Aiki techniques, while others kind of focused on the practical physical side, almost splitting into specialties.
Exactly. That diversity allowed Daito-ryu to spread and resonate with different kinds of practitioners. What's just as impressive is how the art has been preserved, not just in Japan, but globally. There are dojos across North America, Europe, and even parts of South America keeping these traditions alive.
And it's not like they're just preserving the past for history's sake. I mean, they're adapting, blending in modern training methodologies while staying true to the core principles. That's not an easy balancing act.
Not at all, but it's essential for any tradition to survive in a changing world. Think about how other martial arts like Hapkido and Aikido were influenced by Daito-ryu. Those arts took core elements, reshaped them, and created something entirely new, yet rooted in the same philosophy of balance and harmony.
Yeah, and that adaptability kind of mirrors what Daito-ryu teaches, doesn't it? Like, in a fight, if you don't adapt, you lose. Same principle, but applied to, well, life and tradition.
Exactly. It's that philosophy of adaptability that makes it so timeless. The principles of Aiki, Ma'ai, and Kuzushi aren't just combat techniques. They're a way of thinking, a way of approaching challenges in life with precision and balance.
And honestly, that's why it's so relevant today. Like, in a world where things are constantly changing, having a framework for adaptability is like a survival skill. Whether you're in a dojo or just living, it works.
Absolutely. And I think that's the lasting gift of Daito-ryu. It gives us tools, both physical and philosophical, to navigate not just conflict, but the complexities of life itself. It connects the past to the present in a way that continues to resonate.
Totally. It's like, whether you're practicing in a dojo halfway across the world or just exploring its principles in a broader sense, Daito-ryu offers something valuable. And I think that's what makes it more than just a martial art. It's a tradition with, well, depth, you know?
Exactly. And on that note, it's been fascinating diving into this topic today. Every layer of Daito-ryu feels like a story in itself, one that continues to unfold.
Couldn't agree more. And that's all for this episode. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Daito-ryu Aiki-jujutsu. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.